Here's the Unit 2 practice exam. This is page 2. So we're going to talk about binomial distributions. This is one of those that if the way I'm describing it doesn't make sense as far as Excel, definitely reach out to me. We can meet on WebEx and we can go through the Excel spreadsheet and ways to make this easier for you. Okay. So 3 says, in a recent study, research reported that 43% of US adults own a tablet computer, and that's what our focus is here. Remember, a binomial distribution has 2 options. So here, it's going to be own or doesn't own. Okay, so we've got 43% of US adults own a tablet computer, such as an iPad, a Samsung Galaxy Tab, or Kindle Fire. All information that we don't need, but it's in there. Suppose a simple random sample of 15 people is taken. So here's our simple random sample. That's our n. N is 15. Determine the following probabilities. We're going to show work by writing the names of the calculator. That should say Excel command. You use and the values you typed in. And so I will write all of this out. Definitely plug this into Excel and make sure you get the same thing. Please let me know if you didn't. So our success here is owns a tablet, which means the failure is going to be does not own a tablet. Our n is 15. That's our number of trials. That's our sample, basically. P, the probability, is 0.43. Always has to be a decimal. And then X. So A says, we're going to fill in the blanks, and I kind of set this up so I don't forget anything. Find the probability that exactly 5 people in the sample own a tablet. So I got X equals 5. This is what I'm looking for. So when we are talking about binomial distributions, we have got the command here in Excel. And that's equals, we got binom.dist. And then it's going to ask for 4 things. Okay, and I'm going to write that out here first. So this is number underscore S. That means the number of successes that we want. We've got trials, so our number of trials. We want the probability of success. And then with a binomial distribution, we always type a 0 in at the end, and here's why. When we're talking about binomial distributions, we have individual values, 1 or 2 or 3, or in this case, 5. If we type in a 1, it's going to add everything up, and it doesn't always add the way we want it to. So it's easier to crank out the table with all of the individual values and then just add the ones we need. So in this case, we got the probability that X equals 5. I should go back to pink so everything's consistent here. So we got the probability that X equals 5. Okay. And equals. This is binom.dist. The number of successes we want here is 5. The number of trials is 15. The probability of that success is 0.43, and again, 0 at the end. I only want this for 5. And when I do that, I get the probability that X equals 5 is 0.1598. Remember, in Excel, if you are unsure that you are rounding correctly, you can make the column give you exactly 4 places, and Excel will round correctly. Okay. So B We want the probability that between 3 and 12 people in the sample own a tablet. So my success again is owns a tablet. My failure is does not. I mean, we wrote it out up above, just as long as we make sense here. Number of trials is still 15. The probability of success is still 0.43. This says between 3 and 12. It doesn't say including 3 and 12. So we are listing it this way. The probability from 3 to 12, or that X falls between 3 and 12. Okay. So when I say set up a table, what this looks like in my Excel, we're going to go 2 separate columns, is I label one X, I label one P of X. I list all possible values here. And then I calculate this binomial distribution. Binom.dist. I can click on the cell that has the value. There's my 15 trials. There's my 0.43. There's my 0. And then I can grab the little square in the bottom right corner of the cell and drag down, and it will copy all of these with the correct value in here. So if you did not get that from the notes, please definitely let me know. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sum all the values, probability of 3 down to my probability for, probability for 4. I'm like going between 3 and 12, and my probability to 11. So here, probability that 3 is less than X is less than 12. I got 0.9377. And that is just adding up the probability that X equals 3 and the probability that X equals 4 and the probability that X equals 5. Again, in Excel, if I crank out the table that has all of those, I just use the sum value. Okay, now C is a little different. Fill in the blanks below. Find the probability that at most 9 people in the sample do not own a tablet computer. So here our success is does not own a tablet, which means our failure is owns a tablet. So make sure you read the questions carefully. N is still 15. Here, though, my probability, if it's 0.43 that they do own a tablet, then it's 1 minus that 0.43. Everything else is the people that does not, 0.57. Here, at most 9 people, that means X is less than or equal to 9. Everything up to and including 9. So the probability that at most 9 people do not own a tablet, and here, just so we're clear, I got binom.dist. This is going to vary from 0 to 9. Again, I'm going to crank them all out in the table. Number of trials is 15, but here the probability of success is 0.57. And when I did that, I got 0.5646. Again, definitely, if your numbers are not matching mine, reach out in email. I can record a tutorial with the Excel spreadsheet, and we can also double check and make sure I didn't mess something up.